Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marisol, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more classes that I post every single week. Today's class is going to be a 30-minute beginner level class, and oftentimes the classes I post on YouTube are just shorter versions of my live full-length Zoom classes. So if you're interested in those live classes, don't forget to follow my Instagram account and my Facebook account for more information. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with your class today. Okay, so we're gonna actually get started on our mats, and I'm gonna stretch out my leg in front of me, my legs in front of me. Now, just know that if maybe you're still working on your flexibility and this does not feel good, you feel a little bit tense in the low back, then you always have the option of bending those knees, or you can do this seated on a chair. We're just gonna warm up the body, introduce some mobility, and then get started. All right, so from here, I'm gonna inhale, reach my arms forward, take a big inhale, sit up a little taller, and exhale, reach my hands forward and towards my toes, or whatever part of the leg that feels good for you. If you're still working on your flexibility, hands down on your legs is fine. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, reach forward. Inhale, lift. Growing a little taller every single time we come up. Exhale, reaching forward a little bit more every time we do the stretch. And come on up. And one last time, really get some length in the spine here as you reach forward. Pulling the waist back and slowly stack up everything on top of your sits bones. Beautiful. Now we're going to do a little bit of the reverse motion. So inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, reach those arms back, lift the chest. Inhale, come back to seated. Exhale, hands back, lift the chest. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, arms back, lift the chest. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale again. Just introducing again some mobility to the spine. And even in this position, you might feel the shoulders and the chest or even the neck stretch out if you're feeling some tightness there today. And let's do one more. And one more with the chest lifted. And come back to seated with those arms reaching forward, sitting up tall, trying very hard not to lean back in this position. Remember, we want everything over those sits bones. All right, now from here, ideally we're gonna keep the back flat, but if you want that C curve, that shape in there, you're more than welcome to include that. With that, we're gonna lean back just a few inches or to where it feels comfortable for us. We're gonna squeeze those inner thighs together, press the legs down into the floor, and try to elongate our spine as far away from those hips as possible. So trying to get the rib cage or the top part of the body to lengthen out a little bit more. Hold it here. Now, while we're holding this position, we're gonna lean back just a few more inches and exhale, lift back into our diagonal. Lean back, exhale, lift. Now remember, we don't want the chin to press back and forward with us. We want it to stay with the rest of the body. Feeling those low abs really pull in even tighter to that spinal column. As we lift and as we lower. Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3. Last 2. Last 1. Come all the way up to seated. And now from here, we're gonna go into a little bit of a C curve. So I want you to tuck that tailbone, pull the low abs and the waist back, And try to create more of a curve in the low back instead of relying on just your shoulders rounding forward. We do want a little bit of that, but we want the curve to be even from the tailbone all the way to the crown of the head. So from here, my shoulders are over my hips, everything else is pressed back. I'm gonna try to keep this shape as much as I can. Again, squeeze those inner thighs, extend those legs out long. Lean back, exhale, lift. Lean back, exhale, lift. And again, lean back, exhale, lift. Lean back, exhale, lift. Let's go for 3. Last 2. Pulling the waist back a little deeper with every exhale. Last 1. Shoulders over the hips, pause, hold it here. Now your forearms are gonna go one on top of each other. We're gonna lift up tall, go back to that flat back. Exhale, lean back, flat back, again, hold it here. We're gonna pause in this position. All right, now from here, we're gonna exhale, rotate the forearms, the breastbone, and the head gaze equally over to the right as we exhale. Come back to center, rotate equally to the left. Come back to center. And as we move from side to side, what you don't want to do is you don't want the head to go further than the rest of the body. We want the rotation to really concentrate in the waistline. So everything from the waist up is rotating. Try to keep your back long and at a diagonal, ideally. Let's go for 3. Last 2. Last 1. Hold this position here. Reach those arms forward. Pull the waist back for a C curve, tucking that tailbone. And we're gonna slowly lower the spine down 1 vertebrae at a time. Relax those arms down. Let the head, neck, and shoulders rest on the floor for just a little bit. We're actually gonna bend those knees. Bring those legs to a tabletop position. So in this tabletop position, what I want you to think of is I want you to think of really pulling in through those low abs so that we can press that low back down into the mat. Now, what you don't want is you don't want to flare those ribs forward or up to the ceiling. So again, think the mid-spine pressing down, the upper back pressing down, and then the arms pressing down as well, because we want to activate that low back. Now from here, keep those knees bent at a 90-degree angle. Knees are over the hips, shins are parallel to the floor. Inhale, lower the right toes down towards the floor without overbending that knee. Exhale, lift. Left leg down towards the floor. Exhale, lift. And remember, whenever we do this type of movement, those single toe taps especially, think of getting the thigh bone to lengthen or open away from the hips while that low back presses flat, and then bring everything together. So that'll keep you, hopefully, from just bending the knee and lowering the toe down, because it's a different movement and you won't feel your abs quite as much. Let's go for 5. Keep that chest open, keep the mid-spine pressing down. Last 4, use your breath. 3, and if your toes don't touch the floor, that's fine, as long as we're being stable in the hips and in the low back. Last 2. Last 1. Lift the legs back up, hold it here. All right, so for our second set, if you want to continue to do the single leg version, that's fine. But if you want a more challenge, squeeze those inner thighs as tight as you can. And now both legs are going to lower down as you inhale. Exhale as you lift. Lower down as you inhale. Exhale as you lift. Now you can do this with the chest lifted if you prefer. I know sometimes this feels a little better for some of my clients, but if we can try to keep the upper body down just for today, see how different that feels, and if we can control our hip stability, our pelvic stability, our low back stability a little bit better. Let's go for 4. Last 3. Deep breaths. Last 2. Last one. Beautiful. And now hug the right knee in. Stretch that left leg out long. Hold it here. Now this is another exercise that if you're a beginner and you're still starting to try to find and activate your abdominal strength, I would suggest keeping the head, neck, and shoulders down. But if you'd like to lift the head, neck, and shoulders, it doesn't bother your neck, let's try to lift the upper body. Switch the leg, grab the left knee, bring it in, and exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. Inhale, exhale, switch. And continue. Really pull that knee in, but if pulling the knee in just doesn't feel good for your knee joint, try to maintain that leg in tabletop instead. Good, and if you want to lower your head, neck, and shoulders down, you are more than welcome to. Really focus on stretching that leg out as long as you can away from the hips. So it's almost like we're trying to pull that leg out of the hip socket while maintaining control through those abs, stability through the hips. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And hug both knees in. All right, from here, next one is another exercise where you can have your chest lifted or lowered down. We're gonna go into some double leg stretch. Now, to modify, let's go ahead and extend arms and legs up to the ceiling and bring everything back in. Exhale up to the ceiling and bring it back in. For more of a challenge, extend arms and legs away from each other. Bring it back in. Now, the lower you go with those legs, the harder it's going to be, more challenging for your abdominal work, because the whole point is to keep those hips still and stable. We don't want to arch the low back here. Modify however you need. And again, you do have the option of lifting the chest in this position. I personally really like that, but I do want to show you guys how it's done with the chest resting down in case you need that variation. Let's go for 4. Last 3. Last 2. Last 1. Bring it in for just a moment. And now from here, we're gonna bring those legs to tabletop. You can have your chest lifted again, or you can have your chest down on the floor. I tend to prefer my chest lifted for hundreds. So regardless of where your chest is, you're gonna reach those arms forward, keep your legs in tabletop, and start to pump those arms 1 inch up, 1 inch down as you inhale for 5 counts. 1, 2, 4, 5, and exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Stretch those legs for more of a challenge. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Or come back in, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Or rest the upper body down. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Lots of energy through those arms. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 4, 5, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale. Again, stretch the legs for more of a challenge. Inhale, 2, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 4, 5, and hug the knees, bring it in, stretch out that low back. Beautiful, rest the upper body down. All right, and then let's bring those legs back to tabletop again. So remember, knees over the hips, shins parallel to the floor, and for this next one, hands down by your side. So this is another one where you want to think of the upper inner thighs, really squeeze them towards each other, low abs pressing down. We're gonna inhale, let those legs lean over to the left. Keep the shoulder girdle flat on the floor. It's just the right hip that's lifting, but we wanna maintain the rotation through the waist. So if your shoulder lifts with you, we're not really keeping the rotation in the waistline. Exhale, slowly come back in. Inhale, lean to the side. Exhale, come back in. And repeat. Now, as you do this movement, especially when those legs come back to center, think of pulling the belly button closer to the spine as you exhale first, and that'll naturally move your legs back to center. Let's go for 3, Last 2. Last 1. And exhale, come back to center. Beautiful, guys. All right, from here, let's rest the feet down on the mat with the feet hip-width distance apart, hands down by your side to start our bridge series. So inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull the belly button down, tuck the tailbone. Exhale, lift those hips up towards the ceiling, 1 vertebrae at a time, and then slowly lower the spine back down. Let's repeat that just a few more times. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the belly in, lift those hips up, and slowly lower down. So remember, as we're lifting up, we want to have that sensation of the shins and knees pushing forward, but we also want to maintain that push forward as we lower the spine down 1 bone at a time, almost like we're trying to stretch the spine out a little bit. And let's try that again. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull those hips up, press the knees and shins forward, pause at the top, and exhale, slowly lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. Relax the tailbone down. Beautiful, guys. All right, from here, let's go onto our sides, coming up onto our forearms. Beautiful. We're gonna have that bottom leg bent, the top leg straightened out, forearm is pressing down, bottom waist is lifted. Now you do have the option of coming all the way down onto your side completely if you need to modify. Now from here, let's go ahead and exhale. Lift that leg up and lower. Lift that leg up and lower. Now, as we do this, just make sure that when your leg lifts, it's not overlifting. And the way that you'll know if you're overlifting is if that top hip just pushes your body over the shoulder or over the elbow. You want to make sure that that forearm is pressing down, bottom waist is lifted, shoulders are away from the ears, neck should feel really long, the abs are pulled in, and we're really trying to find a sense of length through that leg, almost as if someone's trying to pull that leg out of our hip socket. You can point or flex the foot, either one is fine. Let's do just a few more. Feeling those obliques start to work, feeling those outer thighs start to work. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift that leg, pause, flex the foot, bend the knee, bring it in, and exhale, extend out. Bend the knee, bring it in, and exhale, extend out. Beautiful. Now, when you bend the knee, you're bringing it in. It should remain over that hip or over that bottom leg, not resting down, all right? So let's keep it going. Let's do just a few more. And when you extend that leg out, think of flexing the foot and really driving that heel away from the glute as far away as you can. And then bend it, bring it in. Let's go for 5. You guys got this. Last 4. Deep breaths. 3. Last 2. Last 1, straighten that leg out, little tiny pulses through that heel. You guys got this, lengthen that leg out. Try not to drop that leg. Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3, little booty burn. 2, and 1, and lower that leg down, but not for long, because we're gonna go up onto our hands and knees, and you can place your hands down, keep it there, or you can put your forearms down. I highly suggest this position. I like it better. It relieves any tension in my wrists. Now from here, we're gonna take that leg, still having it straightened out. We're gonna point the toes and lift that leg up without arching the low back, right? We're gonna keep those abs pulled in. We're gonna keep some stability in those hips. And lower, and lift, and lower, and lift. Now, if your leg only lifts a little bit, but that's where you feel the most stable, lift it till there. But if you can lift a little bit higher, really get into those glutes, into that right glute, I would suggest it. But remember, we're not rotating from the hip, right? It's not coming from the low back. It's not coming from rotation. It's coming from that glute, the hamstring, the entire backside of that leg. And in regards to your upper body, we want to make sure that the forearms are pressing down. Let's go for 4. Last 3, 2, 1. And keep that leg lifted. Pause, hold it there. Bend the knee, bring it in, and exhale, extend. Flex that foot. Bend the knee, bring it in, and exhale, extend. Flex that foot. So again, we're really driving that heel away from the sits bones. We're trying to maintain as much stability in our shoulders and in our hips as possible, because that's where we're gonna really find that glute work. Let's go for 4. Last 3. Last 2. Hold it there, and little tiny pulses with that leg. You guys got this. Some stability in the shoulders here. Press those forearms into the mat. Let's go for 5. Look at the mat, not your knees. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower it down. Beautiful, guys. All right, from here, let's go ahead and switch on over to the opposite side to get some work in the other leg. So again, the bottom knee is bent, my forearm is on the floor, my bottom waist is lifted, shoulders are stretched away from the ears, neck is feeling really long. Once we find the stability here, go ahead and exhale, lift that leg up and lower it down. Lift that leg up, lower it down. Now, another way you can tell if you're lifting up too high is if you feel your hip pushing back, right? There's no need to go that high, because when we push the hips back, we stop using the correct muscles. We stop using those outer thighs. We stop really lifting through the waistline, which helps use our obliques, our abdominal muscles, our shoulder stabilizers. So there's really no benefit in lifting that high if it causes your hips to push back. So just keep that in mind. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Keep that leg lifted. Flex the foot, bend the knee, bring it in, and exhale, extend the leg, keeping that leg flexed, driving that heel away from your hips. Bend it in, exhale, extend. Bend it in, exhale, extend. You guys got this. Keeping that leg, that knee, when it bends in, parallel to the bottom one, and exhale, extend. Really try to engage the backs of the legs here. Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3, little outer thigh burn. Last 2, and last 1. Stretch out that leg, little pulses with that heel. You guys got this. 5 short ones. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest that leg down, not for very long, because we're gonna go back onto our hands and knees. Forearms down on the floor. Make sure that you're really finding some stability here. Point the foot, exhale, lift that leg up and lower it down. Exhale, lift that leg up, lower it down. Good. So we're trying to concentrate on different sides of the legs today. So we really started to engage the outer thighs. Now we're gonna engage the back of the thighs, backs of the legs. Let's go here. Try not to look down at your knees or your toes. We wanna keep the neck in line with the rest of the spine. Shoulders are away from your ears. Use your lat muscles too to pull the shoulder blades down the back, down the sides of the body. We got this. Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3, 2, 1. Hold that leg lifted. Flex the foot. Bend the knee. Bring it in. Exhale, extend. Bend the knee. Bring it in. Exhale, extend. Now I also like to press my right shin into the mat, especially as my leg extends. I feel like that gives it that little extra push to lift the leg without including my low back. Let's go for 4. Last 3. Think about your upper body posture. Last 2, chest away from the mat. And last 1, hold it here. Little tiny pulses with that top leg. You guys got this. Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3, 2, 1, and lower that leg down. Nice, guys. All right, from here, going on to our hands and knees. We're gonna actually extend those legs, lower our body down onto the floor, And I'm gonna ask you to put your hands one on top of each other so you can rest your forehead down. Now, I'm not actually gonna do that because I want you guys to be able to hear me really clearly. So instead, I'm gonna keep my head lifted. Go ahead and separate your legs. Remember to straighten them out as long as you can. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull those abs down so you feel your glutes engage, and almost as if you're trying to imagine your back flatten. Now from here, exhale, lift those legs up off of the floor to the point where you feel your knees lift off of the floor as well. Now, preparing for our double leg kick prep, let's go ahead and just bend that right knee. Use those hamstrings, try to get that heel close to the glute, and then exhale, extend. And other side. Bend, and extend, and bend, and extend. You guys got this. Try to keep the knees lifted off of the mat the entire time. Keep that tailbone tucked so we don't feel any tension in the low back. The glutes are engaged. The hamstrings are working here. You're breathing deeply. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it here. Beautiful. And relax those legs down. And now we're going to try the full version of that exercise. So let's go on to our forearms. Now here it's really easy for us to just arch the back and let the belly just support itself onto the mat, but we're gonna want the opposite. So exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull in those low abs so we have that trunk of the body almost lifted off of the floor. Now again, I'm gonna squeeze those glutes, I'm gonna lift those legs up, hold it there. So really think of contracting your legs as tight as possible to get the legs to lift. Now from here, again, I'm gonna bend the right knee, but this time I'm gonna pulse 2 times. 1, 2, and then stretch out the leg. Pulse 2 times. 1, 2, and stretch out the leg. And again, 1, 2, stretch out the leg. 1, 2, stretch out the leg. And let's continue. Shoulders away from the ears, forearms pressing down. Remember, shoulder stability here is key. Let's go for 5. Squeeze those glutes, pull those abs up and in. Last 4, and 3, and 2. We got this, guys. Last one, and rest the upper and lower body down. Beautiful job, team. All right, from here, hands underneath the shoulders. Exhale, push yourself up and off of the floor. Coming into quadruped position. We're gonna do one more full body exercise. This time, we're gonna put our forearms on our mat. You can do straight arms if you'd like. Extend those legs out long, pull those abs in, tuck the tailbone, and coming into your plank position. If you need to modify, rest those knees down, all right? So hold it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, shoulder blades are wide, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower those knees down. Separate those knees so we can rest those hips back into child's pose. Take a deep breath. Take one more. And now we're gonna come back to that same position. So we're gonna go back into our plank. Now I'm gonna give you the option to hold your plank, or for more of a challenge, we're gonna alternate lifting one leg at a time. So here, we're gonna inhale, exhale, lift the right leg, lower down. Exhale, left leg, lower down. And again, and lower down. And just like the exercises we did previously, the more stability you have in your shoulders, in your hips, not letting those hips rotate or move around, then the more you're gonna feel this in your glutes, in the back side of the body, which is what we want. Let's go for 5. Last 4. 3, 2, 1, and lower those knees down. Good. This time, instead of going into a child's pose, let's come onto our quadruped position. Doing a cat stretch here. Exhale, pull the low back up. Let the head, neck, and shoulders relax. Inhale back to center. Exhale, push the chest through. Exhale, pull the waist back. Inhale, push the chest through. And again, exhale, pull the waist back. Inhale, lift the chest through. And come back to center. Beautiful job, guys. All right, press those hips back. Let yourself come up to seated. And really great work today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me in this workout. If you like this video or like videos like this or want to see more, go ahead and comment down below. What kind of classes do you want to see? Do you want to see longer classes, shorter classes? Whatever suggestions you guys have for me, go ahead and put it down in the comments below. Don't forget to follow my Instagram account because I do weekly polls on there for future videos. So other than that, thank you guys so much. Have a lovely day, and I hope you feel amazing, strong, and mobile. Thanks, guys.